Okay, so today I'll be going through the 2024 ACS Junior WA1 for Primary 5. Okay, so let's start. So let's start off with our MCQ. Question 1, you have 8 million plus 60,000 plus 5,000 plus 20 plus 1 equals to. So let me just do the working. 8 million. So look at how I'm separating the digits, okay, so that you know clearly it's 8 million plus 60,000 plus 5,000 plus 20 plus 1. Okay, let's do the addition. All 0, 0, 0 plus 1 will give you 1. 0, 0, 0, 2 will give you a 2. All are zeros, right? So it will be 0. 0 plus 0 plus 5 will give us 5. 0 plus 6 will be 6. There's only a 0 here, so it'll be a 0. And then there's only an 8 here. So your answer will be 8,065,021. Look carefully at the options here. All right, your answer will be 2. So let's move on to question 2. What is the value of 3 over 8 times 6 over 7? So let's write down 3 over 8 multiplied by 6 over 7. So when you have a fraction multiplying by a fraction, before you just go ahead to multiply, okay, there's good practice of trying to simplify first before you multiply. So you can simplify diagonally. So you look at 3 and 7, okay, there's no common factor, so cannot. 8 and 6 both can be divided by 2. So 8, I divide by 2, I will get 4. 6, I divide by 2, I will get 3. Okay, and then now I can go ahead to take numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So 3 times 3 will give me a 9. 4 times 7 will give me a 28. So my answer will be option 4. So question 3, find the value of 18 plus 108. This is a divide by 42 minus 33. There's a bracket here, times 2. Okay, so based off your order of operations, right, we have to do the brackets first. So I will underline the one that I'm going to do first. The rest that I'm not doing, I'll just copy down. So it'll just be 18 plus 108 divide by, so 42 minus 33 will give us 9. Next, the times 2, I'm just going to copy down. All right, so now we look at this 18 plus 108 divided by 9 times 2. Remember, same as your order of operations, we have to do division or multiplication first, okay? And then it's from left to right. So next, I'll be doing the 108 divided by 9. So those that I didn't underline, I will just copy 18 plus 108 divided by 9 will give us 12. Then the times 2, you just copy down. Okay, so this 108 divided by 9, for this paper, you cannot use calculator. So just do your long division to get the answer. If you don't know, it's 12. Okay, then we continue. So 18 plus 12 times 2. All right, you have to do your multiplication first. So let me underline this. The 18 just copy down plus 12 times 2 gives us 24. So 18 plus 24, you just solve it. Your answer will be 42. So our answer will be option 3. All right. So let's move on. Question 4. In a restaurant, 3/7 of the people were men, 1/4 of the remainder were children, and the rest were women. There were 18 women. How many people were in the restaurant? So for a fraction question, they tell us 3/7 of the people were men. Then important part is this 1/4 of remainder were children. Every time when you see this phrasing, fraction of remainder, just have to draw model, okay? It's the biggest clue for us to draw model. But for the model, we always look at the first fraction first. How many units must we draw? We look at the denominator. The total is 7 units. So I'll go ahead to draw a model with a total of 7 units. All right, so this total of 7. 3 out of 7 of the people were men. So I'm going to label 3 units will be men. This here, okay, will be my remainder. Here, I'll label it as R, okay? Now, let's continue reading the question. It tells us that 1/4 of the remaining were children and the rest were women. So if we look at the remainder here, there are 4 units. Just nice, it corresponds to the denominator here of the fraction of the remainder. Okay, for certain questions, if it doesn't correspond, you will have to draw a drop-down model. But for this question, just nice, it says 4 here. We also have 4 units. So for this, I'm not going to draw the drop-down model. I'm just going to label 1 out of the 4, which is 1 unit here, as my children. And the rest were women. So this remaining 3 units will be my women. I can put here, this is 18. So I can just label it as 18. All right, so now I'm done with my model. Let's look at how we can solve it. So the only value we have in this model is 18, which is 3 units. So let's write down 3u is equals to 18. Okay, always have to find 1 unit. I will take 18 divide by 3. That will give us 6. So we go back to the question, how many people were in the restaurant? So they're asking for the total number of people, which we count the total units will be 7. So 7u will just be 7 times 6. That will give us the answer 42. So your answer will be option 3. Question 5. Chloe paid $154 for 2 blouses and a skirt. Each blouse cost 3 times as much as the skirt. What was the total cost of a blouse and a skirt? So for this one, they tell us the total for 2 blouses and 1 skirt. Then they also give us the comparison between each blouse and the skirt. For this, I'm going to draw my stacking model. So I have 2 blouses, so I just put BB, and 1 skirt is S. So just draw a quick sketch. My each blouse is 3 times, right? So I'm going to draw 3 units. Okay, it's the same blouse, so I'm going to draw another 3 units. For the skirt, it will just be 1 unit, right? The total is $154. So my stacking model is done. Now let's count the total number of units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 units will correspond to $154, which is the total here. So let's write down. So I'll always have to find 1 unit. I will take $154 divide by 7. I will get this one, let me check. This one, if you do your long division, you will get $22. All right, so once we have gotten the value for 1 unit, let's go back to read the question. They want us to find 1 blouse and 1 skirt. So we can simply just look at our model. 1 blouse is 3, 1 skirt is 1. So total they are finding for 4 units. So 4 units will just be 4 times $22. That will give me my answer, $88. All right, so your answer will be 3. Okay. Okay, so let me just clear my... All right, so let's move on to the next part. Okay, question 6. Use all the digits 61097 to form a number closest to 18,000. I want a number closest to 18,000. So let me just write down all the digits that are given. 61097. All right. For this, I have to use all the digits. So my final answer must be also a 5-digit answer. Okay. So if I want to choose a number closest to 18,000, my first one, okay, you look at all the digits here. Okay, if I have 1 here and my first digit here is also 1, I will choose 1 as my first digit for sure. So my 1 is used up. Okay, then I'll move on to the next one, right? My next digit here, the next digit is 8, right? Let's look at all this. There's no 8, so there are 2 numbers here that are 1 number apart from 8, which is my 9 and my 7. Okay, but which one am I going to choose? So this one you have to think a bit. If I put 9 here, okay, if I put a 9 here, it will be 19,000 something. Okay? Then if I put a 7 here, it will be 17,000 something. If I put 17,000 something, I'm going closer and closer to 18,000. But if it's 19,000 and something, I'm going further and further apart from 18,000. So for this, right, after you think about it, you should conclude that the number in the second spot will have to be 7. All right? So you must put 7 because you need to go closer and closer to 18,000. If you put 19,000, you're going further and further apart. All right? So my 7 is used. So now if you want to be closer and closer to 18,000, right, we have to make 7,000 the biggest possible 17,000 something. All right? So to make it as big as possible, we have to choose the biggest digit now, which is 9. All right? So I used up 9. The next biggest digit will be 6. So I've used up 6. And then last but not least, I have 0. So my answer for question 6 will be 17,960. All right, question 7. Express 6 cm as a fraction of 2 meters. Give your answer in its simplest form. All right, so this one, when we have to do in fraction, right, we have to make sure our two numbers are of the same units. So you have to convert 2 meters into cm first. So 2 meters will be equals to 1 meter is 100 cm, please remember. So 2 meters will be 200 cm. So now we are of the same units, right? So the fraction will be 6 over 200. The question wants us to give in simplest form. So 6 and 200, okay, both you can divide by 2. Okay, always if you have no idea what number to divide, just go for the smallest, easiest number to divide. Okay, so that would be 2. So you 6 divided by 2, you will get 3. 200 divided by 2, you will get 100. So 3 and 100, there's no more common number to divide already. And so this is your final answer in its simplest form, will be 3 over 100. Okay, now question 8. Divide 5,120 by 40. Okay, so for us, we know that you have learned in P5 that actually divide a number by a number is just like a fraction. So if I want to divide this one, 5,120 divide by 40, I can write it down like that as a fraction. Okay, so when the numerator and denominator both have a 0 in common, we can actually cancel it away because we can divide both the top and the bottom by 10. Remember, when we divide by 10, we can just actually remove 1 0. So we just remove 1 0 from each. Okay, so this leaves us with 512 divided by 4. Okay, so this one we can do the long division together to find out what's the answer. So 512 divided by 4. Okay, take note, this whole paper cannot use calculator. So 5 divided by 4, we have 1. Okay, and then we have 4 here. Subtract, bring down the 1. 11 divided by 4, maximum we have 2. Okay, which is 8. So 11 minus 8 will give us 3. You bring down the 2. So 32 divided by 4 will be 8. So you subtract the 32 and that's it. We have completed our long division. So this one, 512 divided by 4, right? It will be, the answer will be 128. Okay, that's how we do it. Right, question 9. Wei has 195 marbles. He wants to put all the marbles into packets. Each packet can contain a maximum of 10 marbles. What is the least number of packets he will need? So this question wants the least number of packets, meaning you must try to pack as many marbles into one packet as possible. And they say one packet maximum is 10. Okay, so total we have 195, right? We want to pack them into, obviously, we want to pack them into the maximum, which is packets of 10. So I will take the total, which is 195, divided by 10. Okay, so for us, right, how are we going to divide by 10? You count your multiples of 10. All right, this one you know that there's definitely going to be a remainder. Because when you count multiples of 10, it's like 10, 20, 30. You cannot end up with a 5. Okay, so definitely there's a remainder. But 195, if you count multiples of 10, you'll realize that you'll count until 190, which is 19 groups of 10. And then 190, right? You minus 195, you minus 190, you will get a remainder of 5 marbles. Okay? But take note, this question says he wants to put all the marbles. So here you got your 19 packs, right? But then you have a remainder of 5. These 5 marbles, you need 1 more packet. Okay? So total, you will need 19 plus 1 more for this 5 remainder. So you will need 20 packets. So your answer for question 9 will be you need at least 20 packets. Okay, question 10. Bala had 3/4 kg of sugar. He used 2/3 of it to bake some muffins. How many kilogram of sugar had he left? Give your answer as a fraction in simplest form, right? So for this one, I'll use 2 methods to teach you. So you just look at which one you prefer. So for this, Bala had 3/4 kg of sugar. He used 2/3 of it, right? So let me find the amount. This one is amount of sugar. Amount of sugar used by Bala. All right. So it says that he used 2/3 of it. This 2/3 of it is 2/3 of your 3/4 kg. All right. So this year we already learned that if I want to find fraction of fraction, you must change the of to a times. Okay. So if I want 2/3 of 3/4 kg, I must write it as 2/3 times 3/4. All right, I'm finding 2/3 of 3/4, it becomes 2/3 times 3/4. Okay, same thing. Before I carry out the multiplication, I want to simplify it. So 3 diagonal and diagonal, 3, I can both divide by 3 becomes 1. 2 and 4 both can divide by 2. This will become 1. 4 divided by 2 will become 2. So now I can do your multiplication, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. 1 times 1 will give me 1. 1 times 2 will give me 2. So take note, this one is amount of sugar used. So actually this one, I use half a kg. Okay, because this one, 2/3 of 3/4 kg is half a kg. I use this. But this question is asking how much he had left. So to find sugar left, that is supposed to be sugar. Originally, Bala had 3/4 kg. He used half a kg, so I have to do subtraction. Take the original, which is 3/4. I minus what he used. Okay, when you do addition or subtraction of fractions, you always have to make sure the denominator is the same. So this one, I have to times 2 to make it 4 as well. So it will become 2/4. So 3/4 minus 2/4 will give me my answer, 1/4 kg. Okay, so I can write it down here. So just like I mentioned, I'll use 2 ways to solve it. So my second method, let me just write it down here, or the second method. So let me just erase some of this first. Okay, so just now they say that Bala used 2/3 of it to make some muffins, right? So since the question is asking how much left, let me find the fraction of sugar left. Take note, this one is fraction of sugar, not the amount of sugar. Okay? So fraction of sugar left, always, your original is always 1 whole. Okay? You use only 2/3 of it, means you have to minus 2/3. 1 whole is like 3/3. So 3/3 minus 2/3 will leave me with 1/3 of sugar left. 1/3 of what? 1/3 of your original sugar. Okay? So sugar left. 1/3 of my original sugar, right? So I already say that we have learned this here. If the question says 1/3 of, for example, here is 3/4, right? you have to change the of to a times. So it becomes 1/3 times 3/4. Okay? You must remember this. You change from English phrasing to math, it becomes times. So 1/3 times 3/4, same thing when you do multiplication. Before you multiply, check if you can simplify first. So the diagonals are, so 3 and 3 both you can divide by 3. So it becomes 1, 1. So 1 times 1 for the numerator will give me 1. For the denominator will be 1 times 4 will give me 4. So you see, both will give me the same answer, 1/4 kg and 1/4 kg. Okay? Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's go to the word problems. Question 11. This is Jeffrey, is it? Had 3 times as much money as Kenneth. Lincoln had 2 times as much money as Jeffrey. Lincoln and Kenneth had a total of $126. How much money did the 3 children have altogether? So we start with the first sentence. The comparison is between Jeffrey and Kenneth. So it tells us Jeffrey had 3 times. So meaning Jeffrey and then Kenneth, right? Jeffrey 3 times means Jeffrey must have 3 units. So let me draw my 3 units. The second person, which is Kenneth, will have 1 unit. Okay, let's move on. Lincoln, now we have a third person, had 2 times as much money as Jeffrey. But we have already drawn Jeffrey, which is 3 units. So if Lincoln is 2 times of 3 units, it must be 2 times 3. So this tells us Lincoln, 2 times 3 will be 6. So we draw Lincoln 6 units. All right, that's it. So now this question tells us Lincoln and Kenneth had a total of 126. Take note, it's Lincoln and Kenneth only. So it's these 2 guys here. They have a total of $126. The question wants us to find the 3 children all together. Okay, so all 3 of them, how much? So let's look at what we have given in the model is this one. The $126, which is for Kenneth and Lincoln only. So we count how many units is $126. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we write down straight away 7 units equals to $126. Okay, always we need to find 1 unit. So there will be 126 divided by 7. Okay, so since I already put the dollar sign, I'll just follow through. Okay, but usually working wise, you don't really need to put the units. Okay, so $126 divided by 7. 1 unit I will get is $18. Okay, so the question is asking how much money the 3 children have altogether, means everything. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units. So I just need to find 10 units. It will just be 10 times my $18 here. Okay, anything times 10, you just add a 0 behind. So 18, you add a 0 behind will give me the answer, $180. Sorry, this one not very nicely drawn. This one should be 180. Okay, that's it for this question. Then now let's move on. Question 12. Mabel had a total of 80 blue and red beads. She used 2/5 of the blue beads and 24 red beads. In the end, she had equal number of blue and red beads left. How many more red beads than blue beads were there at first? Okay, so at first, she had a total of 80 blue and red beads. But this one, right, at first, we don't really know which one has more. Blue has more, red has more, we have no idea. So let's continue reading first. She used 2/5 of the blue beads. Okay, so this one, right, I'm going to draw the model for blue and red. But let's look at the blue first. It tells us she used 2/5 of the blue. meaning at first she must have a total of 5. So let's draw 5 units for the blue. She used 2 out of the 5, so I'm going to shade 2 of them to represent that she have used it. Okay, so she must have remaining of 3. Okay, and then she used 24 red beads. Okay, I don't know how to draw the red beads, so I'm going to leave it alone first. But the question tells me in the end she had equal number of blue and red beads left. Meaning if I have 3 units of blue, my red I also need to have 3 units left. Because they are equal, definitely left must be equal. So 3 units for both. Okay, then I go back. Just now it says that she used 2/5 on the blue beads and 24 red beads, right? So the 24, okay, must also be used. So, but please take note, this 24 that she used, right, do not draw it the same length as a unit because you don't know whether it's a unit or not. Okay, so I draw it, you see, I draw it slightly longer than a unit. Same thing, I will shade slightly to make it represent that it has been used, 24 red, like that. Okay, so now actually I have drawn the total already. Total for blue at first will be 5 units. Total for red at first must be the 3 remaining and the 24 that she have used. Alright, so now I can label the total 80 already. So everything in this model now is 80. So for model drawing, we are trying to find like how many units equals to a certain value. Okay, so if we look at this model here, it is not made out of equal units yet. There's something extra. And the extra one is this 24 here. All right, so if I take away 24, I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 remaining equal units. So I'll write down 8 units. I must take the total minus the extra. So I'll take 80 minus the 24, which is not a unit. So 80 minus 24 will give me 56. Okay, always find 1 unit. I'll take 56, divide by 8. It will be 7. So once I've gotten 1 unit, right? Let's go back to the question to see what they're asking for. The question is asking how many more red, okay, they're comparing how many more red beads than blue beads were there at first. So I must count how many blue beads at first and how many red beads at first, then compare the difference. Okay? So my blue beads at first, you see here, it's 5 units. So let me find 5 units. This one here is looking for the blue at first. So 5 units will be 5 times 7 will give me 35 blue. Remember, next we have to find the red. Okay, how do I find the red at first? So the total is given, that is 80, right? So if I just take the total minus the blue, which is 80, minus my 35, I will get the red at first. So I have blue at first, red at first already. I just need to take the bigger one, subtract the smaller number. So even though this model I draw the red is shorter than the blue, it doesn't matter, okay? Because I've actually found the value of red is 45, the blue is 35. So I just take 45 minus the 35 is equals to 10. And then yes, in this question, it did tell me that how many more red beads than blue beads? The red is supposed to be more. So it's correct, really. The answer will be 10 more red beads than blue beads. Okay? Okay, let me clear my drawings. And then we will move on to our last question. So the number of lollipops in jar A was 12 more than the number of lollipops in jar B. When 24 lollipops were transferred from jar A to jar B, the number of lollipops in jar B became 3 times that of jar A. Find the total number of lollipops in jar A at first. So for this question, okay, they gave us the beginning comparison is jar A is 12 more than jar B. So for this, when the comparison is more than, less than, or like twice, thrice, always just draw the model. So jar A is more than jar B, right? How many more? It will be 12 more. Let me just draw it like that. So what happened is when 24 lollipops were transferred from A to B, you want to give 24 from A to B. The 24 must be more than this 12, right? It cannot be inside the 12. So the 24 must be somewhere here. All right. So I label this one, the whole thing here to here, 24. I want to transfer, right? Means I'm giving away. I have to shade. Okay. Give to who? I give it to B. So B will add a 24. So use dotted line to represent receiving by B. So the 24 comes here. I label the 24 like that. Okay, so after this transfer, the number of lollipops in jar B became 3 times that of jar A, meaning jar B in the end is 3 units, jar A is 1 unit. So jar B in the end is from here all the way to the end. I will label here 3. Okay, this don't look like a 3 very nicely. So let me just change it. So this is 3. All right, and my jar A is 1 unit in the end. My jar A, right, I've already given 24. So my 1 unit is from here to here only. Okay, so now we always, to solve this kind of model drawing, we have to look at the difference in units. So A is 1 unit, B is 3 units. So the difference in units is 3U minus 1U equals to 2U. The 2U, right? 1U is until here. The 3U is until here, right? So the 2U has to be from here all the way, pardon my. This part to this part is my 2 units. Okay? Okay, maybe I should draw a straight line. My 2U is from here to here. The part, the dotted to the dotted line. So I have to look at what is inside the dotted line. Okay? So what is inside the dotted line is first this part here first. Maybe I put another color. Okay, I have to find here first, here to here. Okay, because this part, there's no straightforward way of finding this whole 2 units. So let me find by portion. So this portion here, the whole thing is 24. This one is 12. So to find this purple color portion here, I will have to take 24. Yeah, let me just change back my color. I have to take 24 minus my 12. I will get 12. Okay, so this portion here will be 12. All right, so I found this purple color portion already. I am already done until here. I have to find until here, right? Here is exactly 24. Okay, so to find the whole 2 units, I just take the 12 that I've just found plus my 24. I will get 36. Always have to find 1 unit. I take 36 divided by 2. I will get 18. Once I've gotten 1 unit, you just go back to read the question to see what they're asking for. They want to find the total number of lollipops in jar A at first. So jar A at first is from here to here, right? So jar A at first is just comprising of 1 unit and a 24. So 1 unit I've already found is 18. I just take 18 plus the 24. I will get my answer, 42. Okay, so that's the answer for question 13. All right, so that's all for this paper. Thank you.